like to call to order the regular meeting on Monday, February 13, 2017. Would you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance and stay standing for the invocation?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, we thank you for the privilege of serving our city and keep us faithful to meeting the needs of our communities. We thank you for the blessings of our forefathers who helped mold our political freedom. And Heavenly Father, your word tells us to never look ahead to changes and challenges of life and fear as they rise, but look at them with full assurance that you will deliver us out of them. God will lead you safely through all things when you cannot stand, and he will carry you in his arms. Lord, we ask for your blanket of safety placed over our police and fire, and protect our men and women in the armed forces as they serve throughout the world. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, we're going to go to, first of all, we have to excuse Councilwoman Osborne. So could I have a motion and a second to excuse Councilwoman? I heard a motion from Vice Mayor Loretana and a second from Councilman Bazzillo. Roll call vote. No, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. So we've excused her this evening. We have 3 communication items. The first one is to recognize the Maricopa County Chain Gang Unit for its work in the community. Christopher Baker, our Development Service Director, will present. Christopher?
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Thank you for the opportunity to make this important recognition. The Maricopa County Sheriff's Office Chain Gang Unit began helping the city of Goodyear in 2013 by picking up weeds and debris from approximately 25 different locations and rights-of-way throughout the city. The agreement that we have with the Sheriff's Office is we provide the bags that they put the refuse in, and pick up the bags as well, and the Chain Gang Unit provides the labor. And just to put some numbers on it for you, in 2016, the Chain Gang Unit filled 1,600 garbage bags. Those 1,600 garbage bags equate to 88,000 gallons of weeds and debris, which if we put it into tons, ultimately equals about 11 tons of material they picked up off the city right away for us for free of charge, just for the cost of the bags. This year, the Sheriff's Office Chain Gang Unit cooperated with code enforcement in order to proactively identify rights-of-ways leading to our ballpark so that our visitors can have, for spring training, can have a great experience, visual experience with the city. So we really appreciate their proactive cooperation in helping us to help keep Goodyear very attractive and appealing to our residents and businesses. And I also want to thank Gail, Pam, and John, our code enforcement team. We have 3 code enforcement officers, or code compliance officers, rather. The work they do is often recognized but very meaningful, and I appreciate their coordination with the Sheriff's Office as well in making these positive contributions to the city.
Can I interrupt and have them stand, and we'll give them a round of applause because they do a good job.
So tonight we have several dignitaries and honored guests from the Sheriff's Office in order to receive this award that we had prepared. And this is just an award that thanks them for their contributions and cooperation and partnership with the city in making a positive difference to our environment and to our residents. So first, I'd like to recognize Captain Harmon and Lieutenant King. They're over the Chain Gang Unit. They didn't want to be recognized, but too bad. And then I'd like to call the unit up and present this award to Detention Sergeant Deanna Weirsham. And then it usually takes several people, as you can tell, in order to make this a
Certainly
success. And so we have certificates of appreciation for each one of the officers. I'm going to call them individually by name if you can indulge me for just a second.
We certainly can.
Detention Officer Garfield Cruz. Detention Officer Richard Delacruz. Detention Officer Sophia Ski. Detention Officer Lisa Gardner. Field Training Officer Kevin Halucha. Detention Officer Samuel Height. Detention Officer Jennifer Hogue. Detention Officer Nancy Meza. And last but certainly not least, Detention Officer Matthew Stevenson.
Somebody going to take their picture? Yeah.
Mayor,
Sure. Mayor Cohen down. Yes, yes, yes.
Or we can all come up there.
Shame on all those people who are letting trash come out of their cars and throwing it out. Yeah. All right, the next communication item is a proclamation recognizing the centennial celebration of the Lions Club International. Lauren Valencia, is Lauren here this evening?
No?
No. Okay, then would somebody from the Lions Club come forth?
They've got a whole row of Lions members.
That's right, Mayor.
And would you give me your name, please?
My name is William Rajewski. I am the president of the Goodyear Lions Club.
Well, welcome. We're so happy to hear you here tonight, and we're proud to read this. So this is the Centennial Year Lions Club International, whereas 2017 marks the centennial year celebration for the founding of the Lions Club International. And whereas the members of Goodyear Lions Club have been active volunteers dedicated to serving those in need in our community in numerous humanitarian and philanthropic projects since 1945. Whereas the Lion Club's international membership, well, you are open to people regardless of ethnic identity, religion, physical ability, gender, or political preference. That's a good mission. And with a mission statement to empower volunteers to serve their communities, meet humanitarian needs, encourage peace, and promote international understanding through the Lions Club. And whereas the Lions Club members, well, you share with all other Lions Clubs the same international motto, we serve, which definitely inspires members to provide humanitarian service local and globally to maintain high ethical standards. And whereas through its many initiatives, Lions Club International and the Goodyear Lions Club members, in unison with more than 3,000 lions in Arizona, 1.4 million lions in 210 countries, and 46,000 lion clubs worldwide, make an enormous difference in every day and in every area of assistance for our youth, hunger, environment, vision, and disaster relief. And we do value that a great deal. So congratulations. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Georgia Lord, the mayor of the city of Goodyear, Arizona, do proclaim 2017 as a centennial year for the Lions Club International. And I urge my fellow citizens to recognize the crucial role played in Lions Club members and within our community throughout the world. Given under my hand in these free United States in the city of Goodyear, Arizona, on the 13th day of February, 2017, to which I have caused the seal of our great city of Goodyear to be affixed and have made this proclamation public. Congratulations. Do you have any other in the audience of the Lions?
Yes, we do. Yes,
Would you please stand while we give you a hand of applause?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor.
You're quite welcome. It's all yours.
Would he like, would he like? Georgia, would he like to say something?
Excuse me, do you mind? Oh, don't go away. Would the spokesman for the Lions please come back up?
Dave, don't leave yet.
Hello? Oh. I'm sorry. The council would like you to come forth and say a few words, and I should have done that when you were down there. I apologize for that.
Thank you. Good
welcome.
evening. My name is Bill Rajeski, and I'm the president of the Goodyear Lions Club. As she said before, stipulated that the Goodyear Lions Club was started back in 1945 in Goodyear, and this proclamation is very important to me because number one, I'm a dedicated citizen in the city of Goodyear, and I'm a member of the Lions Club and been a member of the Lions for almost 40 years. And we serve our motto, whether it's in floods or eyeglasses or helping children. We do a lot of eye screening in the city of Goodyear, spot machine testing and everything like that, eye exams and everything. It's a tribute today to stand in front of the city of Goodyear and the council to accept this proclamation today because it does me well, and to have the people in the community to recognize that the Goodyear Lions Club is here in the city of Goodyear to serve the people of Goodyear and the state of Arizona and the county of Maricopa. Thank you, Mayor.
Don't go away, because I'm sure, I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice lately, everybody. So the council would like to say something. Councilman Stipp?
Bill, it's good to see you again. I've had the opportunity to speak before the Lions a couple of times, and it's great to see that you're continuing to build still think you call it a club, Lions Club?
Yes, we're still looking for members too.
Oh yeah,
Mayor.
without a
We're
doubt.
always looking for members, even to have a member from the city of Goodyear to join the club would be great to help the community. I mean, we're always looking for it. And I know Joe Pasillo. I met with him at Safeway, and he gave me your card, and he got the ball rolling for me.
Thank you, Joe.
Good.
And Bill Stipp came to the meetings before a couple times. He's talked on the meetings, and I'm going to get you to a meeting one night when I can, Mayor.
That's very
and talk
kind.
to the
That's
club
very
because
kind.
they would love to have you talk.
Thank you. I'd be happy to. We have a great team here, you know. I mean, any one of these people could do it. So I know some other people want to tell you. So, Wally, I think you wanted to
Well,
talk?
I just would like to know, do you mind introducing the Lions that are here with you? Because I know Dave Roberts drove all the way down from Wickenburg.
Right. I think
And he's a friend of mine. Plus, I see other
Why
friends
don't
in
you
the
have them
audience.
come up? Tell them to come on up.
Yeah,
Okay,
come on up.
yes. Dave? I'd like to introduce Dave Roberts. Dave Roberts is the past international director for Lions International,
Wow.
and his wife is here tonight too, and she is a past district governor for Lions too. Dave?
Quite impressive. I see you have some more coming up here.
As a past board member of Lions Clubs International, traveling all around the world, it's interesting to come to the town of Goodyear and see all the things that are going on. It's a fun town. I've been in Arizona since 1948, and I've watched this whole west side grow. And it's been amazing to see what's happened. And we thank the Goodyear Club for helping us start a club in your neighboring city of Avondale. So we're getting more and more people in the Lions Clubs here to help the community. And as Bill said, our motto is 2 words: we serve. So we serve you, and anything we can do to help you, all you need to do is let Bill know.
We appreciate that.
We thank you very much for the proclamation.
Go away.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor? I'll get him next.
I just want to say thank you, all of you, and for all the hard work you do. And when you say we serve, clearly you do. For what, since you said 1940, what year did you say? 1945. So we are very blessed to have you all, contributing to our city, and our residents in the whole Southwest Valley are very blessed. So thank you.
Councilman
We
Pizzillo?
thank you.
Again, it's my honor and pleasure, Bill, to get you before here because you guys do great work within the community. So that was a no-brainer. Again, thank you for all you do. I really appreciate it. As a Rotarian, again, ours is service above self. So I understand where you're coming from, and I appreciate all the work you do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Holman?
Thank you. I was a proud member of the Goodyear Lions Club for a number of years and have worked with a number of the people that are here tonight. And what always has impressed me is they have so many projects. You may not be the biggest Lions Club in the state of Arizona, but you certainly have been one of the steadiest and do so much with so very little and do it quietly. And it's a very impressive group of people.
Well, I think we should take a picture of this very impressive group. Can I have the photographer to come back up? Let's all go over here.
Don't go too far away.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming all the way down. Appreciate it. Not a problem. I appreciate it.
Congratulations. That's quite an honor.
Thank you.
Oh, I should have been there. I could probably put the pancakes down here. Okay.
The last communication item is a review and preview of the 2017 Spring Training Promotions and Opening Day festivities. And Bruce, we're looking forward to hearing about this.
Yay.
Fantastic.
Can't wait.
I know it's going to be hard to believe, but we're just under 2 weeks away from opening day.
Wow.
Pitchers and catchers already reported. Full squads report later this week with full squad workouts beginning towards the end of this week.
Good.
And of course, we're excited to have our teams back. Welcome back the Cincinnati Reds, and also, of course, the 2016 American League champions, our very own Cleveland Indians. And we've experienced a lot of this excitement all the way through spring training. Our ticket sales are currently up about 75% over last year. Sponsorship sales, we're heading towards that goal. Don't want to jinx that one quite yet and start talking numbers. But also, we've also topped and exceeded our highest group sales of over 11,000 tickets already to date. So as we're preparing for February 25th, opening day, two teams, Indians and Reds, will take on each other. Gates open at 11:30. First pitch is slated for 1:05. We'll have a lot of exciting things happening on opening day. We'll have live music out front in the plaza area with music provided by the Swing Kings. We have hired a baseball magician doing some close-up magic that's going to be wandering around the concourse. And we've actually got to preview this, and it's really kind of, I don't want to, take away from the excitement there, but does a lot of close-up magic and integrates a baseball theme into that. So it's really exciting, and we'll bring some more kids activities, inflatables down in the kids area fun zone. And for the first 200 fans, both teams, Indians and the Reds, will be signing autographs as well on opening day. And to continue with the fun, of course, throughout the season, we can't stop there. We have 2 bobblehead giveaways scheduled. Rizal Iglesias for the Reds and Corey Kluber. We'll be partnering again with the Homeless Youth Connection and bringing back their carnival, and that'll be March 16th through the 19th, and it'll be right just west of the ballpark in the parking lot right out front that borders Estrella Parkway. Also have bring back the happy hour, so gates will open up 2 hours prior to scheduled first pitch on all night games. All night games now are at 6:05, so gates will open up at 4 o'clock for all of our night games. And we have 2 fireworks shows scheduled on March 10th and March 17th. And a lot of our returning fan favorites bring back the Senior Saver Pass. Of course, our military appreciation, free ticket to active duty, retired, and reserve military. And for those folks that have served our country and did not fall in that category, we have started a veteran discount. Very popular last year, and of course, we're going to continue that this year. Half-price child price tickets, and also the dollar berm days. So when our 2 teams play each other, you can purchase 1 berm ticket at regular price and get the second for only $1. After each of the Sunday games, we'll have kids run the bases. In conjunction with the Senior Saver, we'll have on 4 afternoons the Senior Stroll, so they'll have their chance to make their way around the base path, catch on the field. Then, of course, we'll wind it out with Fan Appreciation Day on the last game of the season on March 29th. And we've been busy this offseason getting ready. If you haven't followed us on Facebook, but we've been doing some enhancements to the right field pavilion. Built a new bar, removed the one that's there now, opened up the space on that top level. We have furniture that's coming in for all 3 of the levels, so we're replacing that. So the bottom 2 levels will have still the table type chair seating furniture. The top level, more of the outdoor patio, kind of more of the social hangout area. Also incorporated up in that top level, we'll have 9 TVs now. So it would be definitely the place to be during spring training.
Yeah.
Also new for 2017 are the fan experiences. These were, prior to this year, only opened up to travel groups. And this is the opportunity to have an on-field workout down one of the complexes. You can go down to the complex and watch batting practice. You can see that bottom picture there. So you're standing on the warning track right behind the cage, and you're really up and close, personal to the action. And then also a post-game meet and greet with the players and the broadcasters from the teams. So it's kind of exciting. Those have been taken off very well for us this year. We've also partnered with the Wildlife World Zoo and bring them to add to our Sunday Kids Days. And they'll be doing an hour presentation teaching kids about the different animals and the various ones that they'll be bringing out. And we also set up 2 field trips as well on March 2nd and March 9th, bringing out the local kids to the ballpark as well. And then the Budweiser Brew House will be a new addition out in the left field area. So taking the bar that was currently up in the right field pavilion and moving that out to the left field area, putting up another 40 by 30 foot tent, create some more shade inside the ballpark as well. And of course, some new foods. Fortunately, I did not bring any with me to sample tonight, but we had the top one on there, the taquito dog. That's going to be an exclusive developed here in Goodyear. It's a foot-long hot dog covered in cheese, wrapped in a 16-inch tortilla, and deep fried, topped with guacamole, sour cream, and I think that's the reaction a lot of people have. But wait till you try it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Also, we're going to introduce a 2-pound Bavarian pretzel, which you can see on the top of that picture, and it's kind of about the size of a small steering wheel.
Yeah.
Also, we'll be incorporating new items on our Burgertopia cart with the mac and cheese burger, the Aloha burger, and also on the salsa cart on the concourse, we'll have a taco salad.
Nice.
You can either have it with or without the deep fried flour shell. And of course, we'll round out the year going right from spring training, and we have a lot of events on deck right after that. Bring back the bubble run, have some high school baseball games. Of course, the graduations. Last year we had just over 3,000 students graduate at Goodyear Ballpark and had close to about 40,000 family members, friends, and relatives join us for those ceremonies. And then going right into the summer months with more baseball tournaments. And one last thing that we do have new for this year is a little bit of a fan advisory, but we are going to be implementing metal detection and screening at all of our entry gates.
Good.
So all of our fans now be required to walk through the metal detection. It's very similar to going to a Major League Stadium or a major sporting event. So that has been passed down through Major League Baseball security, and we'll be implementing that here in Goodyear starting this year. Thank you.
All right, don't go away because I'm sure council has any questions you'd like to ask?
I've got a-
Councilman Pizzello?
I have a question.
Just the one on the metal detectors that came down from the sports gods, so I guess up on high. Did they get any? Do we get any grant money to cover those costs of that equipment from the Major League
Unfortunately, we did
Baseball?
not.
We had to eat that entire cost.
Correct.
Okay, thanks.
Any other?
My question is there
Campbell?
any talk about going to the clear plastic bags like what we have to do at Cardinal Stadium? Have they come down to that level yet?
From the meetings that I've attended, that has not even been much
Discussed.
of a talk
Okay,
yet.
good.
Yeah. So as far as we know, that may not be implemented. Typically, you'll see these start to happen in Major League Baseball stadiums first, and then it'll start to transition down. But that hasn't even been broached as a topic yet.
So the only difference we'll be doing is walking through a metal detector.
That is correct.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Well, yes. Vice Mayor?
When we talk about the metal detectors, are we going to just have the two entrances open or just one at the main entrance? How's that going to work?
So we have the units set up at all four of our entrance
okay.
gates.
So you can still get in all four entrances?
That is correct.
Okay. And are you going to post that to let people know the change? I might have missed it so that people
Correct.
come
Yeah,
early.
we've started messaging that out pretty early. So through our email database, of course, the social media outlets as well. We're trying to do as much as we can up front to let people know of these changes that are happening. We feel that it's probably going to be very minimal impact. I think most of the people that are going to live sporting events now are very accustomed to this process.
Thank you.
Well, I have to tell you, thank you. It's creative. You've got a lot of new things coming this year. It's exciting for the young people. I mean, families, Dad wants to watch the game, but doesn't want to go. Well, they're pretty safe there, and especially with the way you have to be careful how you get in to the ballpark. But it's very creative and lots of fun. And I'm sure that with the winning team that's going to be playing there, we'll have lots of people this year. And I consider our Cleveland Indians a winning team.
You bet.
Okay, so we look forward to that. So thank you so much. And tell the team thank you so much for getting the stadium so prepared for this.
Thank you.
Okay, now we're going to go to citizens' comments. So now is the time for citizens who would like to address the city on council on any non-agenda item. And I do see I have a speaker card. So I invite Walt Steiner up. And his has a non-agenda. He calls it praise. And so if you please repeat your name and your address for the public record.
Walt Steiner, 13560, South 177th Lane, Goodyear. I wanted to I've been coming to these meetings for over a year now, and I've sat here quietly and listened to everything, sometimes confused, sometimes not confused. But I want to tell you as a group, and I've talked to each of you individually, but as a group, I am extremely impressed with how you get business done. You guys are just do a very outstanding job. But not only that, I want to tell the people out here, all the department heads, everybody here that supports you and does the work and brings all this information to you, they're just as outstanding as you are. So as a city, you are very hard to be beat. Anybody, I don't know how they could beat you hand down. Now we have an election coming, and good luck to.
No comment.
Yeah, I know. No, good luck to everybody on that. But I want to tell you, it's been a wonderful experience. I've learned a lot, and it's just been really great. So thank you very much for all of that. You guys and all of you back there.
Well, we appreciate you coming up and praising. I think it's joyous to hear that once in a while because we don't always hear that.
No, we don't.
People who are happy don't have a tendency to come before us.
Right.
The people who are not do. And so I really, which is their right, the democratic right. I have nothing against that. But it's nice to hear praise like this. And you're right, this is a hardworking city. We are a team from the council to the staff to the city manager. We are a team, and we work that way, and it just has been great, right? We're
Yes,
very
it
proud
has.
of it. And thank you for coming forth with that. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm going to clap on it because I'm sorry. You wait for us. All right, we don't have any other cards, right? Okay, well, I'm going to go to the consent agenda. Would the city clerk please read consent agenda items 6.1 and 6.2 by title only?
Item 6.1, approve draft minutes from a special meeting and a regular meeting held on January 23, 2017. Item 6.2, approve the Southwest Gas Crossing license associated with Estrella Parcel 3.14.
Thank you. Does anyone on the public wish to remove an item from the consent agenda? Does anyone on the council wish to remove an item? All right, thank you. Could I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
I heard a motion from Councilman Holman, a second from Councilman Stipp. Roll call vote, please.
Vice Mayor Loretano?
Aye.
Councilmember Pizzillo?
Aye.
Councilmember Campbell?
Aye.
Councilmember Stipp?
Aye.
Councilmember Holman?
Aye.
Mayor Lord?
Aye.
Passes 6-0.
All right, we're going to go to the business item. And again, council refrain from asking questions until the staff presentations are complete and there's a motion on the table. So we're going to go to the first item, which is a public hearing to consider Village 7 and 9 Plan Development Pad Amendment for the Estrella Parcel 7.5. Open public hearing. Alex Latinsky, Planner 2, to present. Alex?
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. Good evening. I want to dive into the history of the Estrella Mountain Ranch Villages 7 and 9 PAD. Originally, this was part of Estrella Phase 2 PAD, and then the 7s and 9 parcels were created to make Villages 7 and 9. There's been some amendments after that, like Montecito and some other minor amendments here and there. But tonight we're going to just talk about one parcel that's left in Villages 7 and 9 that hasn't been developed yet. So the request tonight is to change the SFDCL designation to have a density of 3 to 10. And like I said, it's going to only affect one parcel. So in the Villages 7 and 9 PAD, we have the residential development standards, which I've circled the unit type that will be affected with this amendment. So that will go from 6 to 10 to 3 to 10. The reason why Newland has made this request is because Beazer has expressed interest in this last parcel, and their proposal is about 3.4 dwelling units per acre. So we want to give them that option. And then the product type is similar to what's being built at Overlook at Estrella, which is just south of the fire station. I do want to mention that parcel 7.1 was one of 2 parcels that was left in the SFDCL designation, and that went through a different PAD amendment to change the density. They are still doing a creative lot product similar to what's in La Ventia, but the density transfer changed the zoning to about 5.3. So you can see this 6 to 10 dwelling units per acre is kind of difficult for them to get to nowadays, because these PADs are from 04 and then 08, and then amended as such. So we had a citizen review meeting back in December, and we received positive feedback from the residents. They were happy to hear that the density was being lowered. And Planning and Zoning Commission recommend approval at their January 18th meeting, and staff recommends approval. Pete Tyke's here if you have any questions, and I can answer any questions if you'd like as well.
Thank you very much, Alex. Are there any speaker cards? Would anybody in the audience like to speak? All right, then I'm going to close the public hearing. Will the city clerk please read ordinance 17-1339 by title only, please?
modify the density standard applicable to parcel 7.5, which is generally located on the west side of Estrella Parkway, south of Calistoga Drive, amending zoning map of the city of Goodyear, providing severability, and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Could I have a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Or a motion from Vice Mayor Valortano and a second from Councilman Campbell. Open for council discussion. I thought the elevations were really nice. They have the little porches that reminded me of Rado, in some of those streets in there. I thought it was, I can understand why the public likes it. All right, no discussion. We're going to have a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Pizzillo?
Aye.
Councilmember Campbell?
Aye.
Councilmember Stipp?
Aye.
Councilmember Holman?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Loretano?
Aye.
Mayor Lord?
Aye.
Passes 6-0.
All right. Thank you, Alex. We're going to go to 7.2 to consider extension of Australia Commons preliminary plat. Katie Wilkin presenting.
Mayor,
Excuse me. Yes, Councilman Stipp.
I'd like to request an executive session to consult with the attorney before we get started with this.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Do I have to vote on this? Roll call vote.
Councilmember Campbell?
Aye.
Councilmember Stipp?
Aye.
Councilmember Holman?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Loretano?
Aye.
Councilmember Pizzillo?
Aye.
Mayor Lord?
Aye.
Passes 6-0.
So we'll convene into exec session. We're on now.
Okay.
Yes, we're on now. I just adjourned the executive meeting and we'll resume with 7.2. And we have before us, and let me just say one more time, it is an item of the business to consider the extension of Australia Commons preliminary plat. Planning Manager Katie Wilkin to present. Katie?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Estrella Commons is located southeast of Estrella Parkway and Interstate 10. It's a mixed-use development that includes commercial, multifamily, and single-family uses. The single-family portion of the site, which is adjacent to the Bullard Wash to the east, was platted in February 2016. Preliminary plats are valid for 1 year, and then they expire. However, they can request an extension of 1 year, which is approved by the City Council. There have been no changes to our engineering standards or development regulations that would impact this preliminary plat. Furthermore, the property owner, Evergreen Development Company, has been moving forward with the project. We recently had a pre-application meeting with Fulton Homes. Evergreen DevCo is in escrow with Fulton Homes. If they move forward, they will likely create a new preliminary plat for the site. However, Evergreen DevCo has requested that the preliminary plat be extended until they close escrow with Fulton Homes. Staff doesn't see any issues with extending the preliminary plat. It is reasonable to grant them this request, and so staff recommends extending the plat, and thus it will expire in February 2018. That concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Katie. Are there any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
Would anybody in the alliance like to speak? Then I'd like a motion and a second to approve the extension of Estrella Commons preliminary plat approval February 22nd, 2018, subject to stipulations approved by the City Council on February 22nd, 2016. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I heard a motion by Councilman Holman and a second by Councilman Basillo. Very good. Open for council discussion. All right, let's do a all in favor then. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you very much, Katie. The last item, 7.3, to consider purchasing additional property for well site 19. Linda Beals, real estate coordinator, will be presenting. Linda?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight I'm here to present the purchase of an expansion for well site 19. We're seeking approval to move forward with this purchase of approximately 6,018 square feet, or a little bit over 1/10 of an acre, adjacent to the existing city well site known as well site 19. This site is located on the north side of Van Buren, east of Estrella Parkway. The existing site is in yellow on this exhibit, and the proposed expansion area is in green. The reason for this, the need for this additional space is twofold. The first and primary reason is that the existing well site, the production from the well site 19, has significantly reduced over the past couple of years. Staff had budgeted funds for this year to go in and rehabilitate this site, the well. However, as they were doing the rehabilitation, they noted that there has been a catastrophic failure of this well to the extent that it cannot be repaired. Therefore, what needs to happen is that the well needs to be re-drilled. Well, taking a look at the situation out there, we wanted, first off, to be able to drill the well close enough to the existing well to utilize our existing infrastructure, as well as the pipe, including the electrical, the piping, all of those type of things. So, then the second reason that this site, why this expansion is positive for the city, is that our existing well site is smaller than what our standards are today. It's very hard to get in and maintain the well based on the size that it currently is. Our new city standards for the well sites are 100 by 100, which allow us to adequately be able to get in and do maintenance and get the drill rigs in and do the things we need to do on even a regular basis on the site. The city has been working with the owner of the property, Evergreen Estrella, to draft a letter of intent, which we provided a copy of in the packets, which outlines the terms of the proposed acquisition. The proposed purchase price for the site is $7.25 per square foot, or an estimated $43,530.50. That's the purchase price. We'll also have a closing costs and other fees for on the site, which we think the total will come out at around $51,000. We're working on trying to complete this purchase within 90 days or sooner if possible, based on the fact that with that well having failed, we need to get the new well up and operating as quickly as possible, which is one reason we're bringing the letter of intent to you, and we'll be working through the purchase agreement as quickly as possible to keep this moving. That concludes my presentation. So if you have any questions, I'm here tonight, as well as Barbara Chappell with our water department, who can fill in some of the gaps that maybe I don't understand, I'm not able to answer.
Thank you, Linda. Are there any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
Would anybody in the audience like to speak? All right, will the city clerk please read Resolution 17-1787 by title only, please?
Adopt Resolution Number 17-1787, approving the purchase of additional property for well site 19, located northeast of Van Buren Street and Estrella Parkway, authorizing the amendment of the letter of intent, authorizing and directing the preparation and execution of a purchase agreement, authorizing and directing the city manager or his designee to take actions and execute documents and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Can I have a motion, a second?
So moved.
Second.
I heard a motion by Vice Mayor Loretano, a second by Councilman Holman. Open for council discussion. Councilman Pizzillo.
Hi, just a general question. I notice on the staff report the funding is through the maintenance budget. And my question is that size of amount going to put any additional pressure on the maintenance budget that's going to require a transfer later into that account to maintain the maintenance?
Actually, and Barbara can correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is the funds that are being utilized are funds that were actually allocated through the CIP program for rehabilitation of this well site.
Okay.
Yes.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. The funds.
Just introduce yourself for the people listening.
Barbara Chappell, Water Utility Operations Manager for Public Works. The funds, there will be a transfer request coming at the end of this month by Lori Wingenroth in our finance department. There was some funds set aside for different well rehabilitation projects through the rate plan, and one of the wells cost us a little bit less than we thought to rehabilitate, didn't have as much damage, and so we're using some of the funds that were left over from that project to complete the funding for this project.
So overall, it's a wash as far as the bottom line is concerned from the savings from the one?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Stipp.
So we have to re-drill, re-pipe, basically rebuild this well. The original rehabilitation budget is going to cover that, all of that, because I would imagine rebuilding is a lot more expensive than just rehabilitating or fixing.
Correct. So we had two other wells that were being rehabilitated also. They were going to undergo some minor cleaning, but they had funded for a complete re-drill just in case they needed that. And so we're able to use the funds from that project that didn't need a complete re-drill to do this one. We didn't expect this one to need the complete re-drill because it's a newer well, but you just don't know what. We sent a camera down and it was beyond repair.
Okay. In the future, I guess, to the manager, in the future, if we're going to be budgeting for that type of thing in the CIP, that we're going to budget for a complete rehabilitation, but it might be really just a cosmetic fix, I think we ought to know that. If we're budgeting $5 million for a for a well project, but we're only end up using $500,000 of it, we ought to know that. We ought to know that going in to the budgeting process, so that we're informed that we're either and I realize it's because it's a utility, we budget it differently, but I think from the public perspective, this sounds as though we're over budgeting. I don't know if that's such a concept, but it just doesn't sound right when we say it like this. Like, well, we only needed this tiny little bit, so we've got all this money left over. I think we need to be a little bit more transparent about that in the budget process. That's all. I don't know if anyone else agrees with that, but and that was my. Those
all right. Anything else?
Yeah.
Councilman Campbell.
I just have a couple of quick questions. How long will it take them to drill the new well?
So the transfer, we'll be bringing that project back to you for approval before we can enter into the contract and issue a purchase order. But once that's done, we anticipate 3 months.
So it's within this year is what I'm getting at.
Yes, our goal is to have that back online this summer before the peak summer in July.
All right.
August.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming up. All right. We've had a motion and we're council discussion. Let's do a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Stipp?
Aye.
Councilmember Holman?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Loretano?
Aye.
Councilmember Pizzillo?
Aye.
Councilmember Campbell?
Aye.
Mayor Lord?
Aye.
Passes 6-0.
Thank you very much. Okay, just an information, does council have any comments, commendation reports on current events? No? Well, then we're going to, does the manager have anything to report?
Mayor and council, just a reminder, we're closed on this coming Monday, February 20th, in observance of President's Day. So City Hall will be closed. However, we will have emergency fire and police services operating as normal. And we will reopen city offices at 8 a.m. on Tuesday. Just also as a reminder, no trash pickup, recycling, or bulk refuse service on holidays. That gets moved to the following day. That's all I have.
Does anybody, we always ask if there's anything on the, what's the new one on the agenda? It says here, staff follow-up. No, but if there's anybody on council that wants something, right? Isn't that, am I supposed to answer for that? We don't have that on this, right? Do I have it on here?
Yes,
Maybe I do.
Agenda items.
Future agenda items, that's what I'm looking for. Is there any future agenda, it took me a while to get there, but I got there. Any future agenda items from the council?
No, I've got something to ask of. Well, it could be a future agenda item. I'm not sure. Let me ask.
Well,
you tell me if
let
it's
them discern
different.
that. Go ahead. You got the
Okay.
floor.
Couple things. Quite a while back, we had a discussion, or at least I had a discussion at one of the meetings about the wraps. How Avondale has used those wraps to beautify some of the electrical boxes. And as a result, I thought we were going to get some follow-up on that to see what it cost or us going about it. Because I think they've done an excellent job when you go through there. Those ugly electrical boxes, they have wraps around them, neighborhood art, that type of stuff. First, to be honest with you, I thought they were painted on, and then somebody told me they were wraps. But it does dress up the electrical boxes, and I can't imagine there's a whole lot of expense to it. And those things are really kind of like an eyesore when they kind of hang out there. So I'd like to get something back of what it would take, and the others may or may not agree with me on that, but I think it adds to the beautification of the city. But those wraps they've done in Avondale, at least around by those electrical boxes.
I haven't noticed them, so tell me, is it what kind
traffic-
of but what is the scene they're putting around it?
There's a wrap. It's art. It could be an art photo of the neighborhood. And if you go through there, McDowell Road's a perfect example. Go down McDowell Road to where the lights are, and you'll see the electrical boxes, and they'll have people and art and variety of things, but they're wraps. They're not hand painted. That dresses up that ugly looking box that kind of sits there, at the corner. So
you could put things that really blend with the neighborhood
Yes.
rather than having
and a theme of the
something that,
neighborhood.
like,
It's art.
Stadium, you could put
Yeah.
Stadium with the
teams
stadium.
on it.
Yeah.
The baseballs or
I
whatever.
guess what we need to look in what the cost of that is.
Well, I don't know. That's what I was looking for a while
Okay.
back. I haven't
All right.
seen anything come through on there. And the other thing is the ticker for the identification of the notice of Newland on when we may move forward on that fire station. Because I think there's an official notification at some point, and it takes 18 months or whatever it is to get the station. But have we looked in when that ticker will start? I guess is my other piece. And I don't know if that's something that we need to put on a future agenda to agree on when we might make that notification.
Can we let the city manager give us some information first?
Yeah, Mayor and Council, and regarding the first item, we can provide information as far what we can get from Avondale on how that program works, what their costs are, just as a point of comparison. So that could be pulled together. The second thing is we are looking at coming back to council on the fire stations themselves, on how we're approaching that. That was asked at the last work session to come forward. So we will be looking at coming to council in March for update on the fire stations. It's also part of the CIP. If you look at the 3 stations that we're looking at, 181, what we're looking at for Estrella, and then also for West Goodyear. So that will be coming back for council. We're looking at getting that direction as part of the CIP as well and part of the budget process. And from that point, if there's a go-ahead with that, then we go ahead and pull the trigger. That's where we're at today.
One last thing, it had to do with the incentives on economic development dealing with impact fees. I know we had talked about that on how to spur on entertainment, retail type of thing, how we can go about trying to bring that up, because we had raised that in another meeting to get on the agenda. I haven't seen anything yet on it because, again, from my perspective, I'm not going to speak for anybody else. The general sales tax generates about 51% of our operating budget, and it would be nice to find ways to encourage that development to get going. I hate this, and again, I know a lot of it, there's a lot of moving pieces, but I tell you, I was over at the Habit today at that burger joint, and I didn't realize all that billing that spurred up as a result of that main event. It's huge. So usually if you get an anchor, if we can just spur it on, hopefully from there, just like the movie theater, you'll see development build around it, because that's what's driving, the count and the cars that are getting there. So I'd just like to have that discussion to see how my other fellow council members, feel about that specific issue.
I think they're a little shocked because the last time we had a discussion, you did not want to do any incentives, and so it was confusing, and now you want. So we do need. I agree with you to sit down and talk about what we want to do, and of course we have to look at consent. We have to do the Goldwater fix on all of them to make sure.
Well, I realize that, and that's why I turned it over to the attorney.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead,
And
Brian.
Mayor, members of the council, we are looking at that in work session in March also. March is going to be a very busy month with budget and also work sessions as we pull the information together for council.
Sherry.
I guess I'm a little more confused on the timeline. We're back to the fire station, not to kind of keep beating this one, but I thought we were going to kind of separate Estrella out because we do have the funding for that, so we could start the ticker, and because we've got the 6 months so that they can get it in their budget, so that if we wait to our budget process, it might miss their budget process, so we could kind of get that started.
And if I may, and it's not on the agenda, but let me hit it very quickly. There's also a ramp up for the crews that we bring on that will be that the city will have to fund as we bring on those firefighters prior to that station opening. So that will be asked for in a supplemental for the budget process. So that's why we're looking at trying to tie all this together in March, April. So that's where we've been. Because the appropriation, again, will be for crews going forward as well. Not appropriated yet, but that's where we're at. So let me know if there's a difference.
Okay, anything else? Councilman Campbell.
I have two inquiries. If you could we get an update, not necessarily tonight, on the community paramedicine program, if it's ready to roll out, and also where is the certificate of need process? This is the middle of February.
So, community paramedicine, we can get an update on that. We're in the pilot right now. And then on CON has been talked about with council. That will be, that application will come back for council February 27th, I want to say it's in February, for the approval of that, because that also will require appropriations. But we're looking at that prior to the budget process. Get council, if council gives the go-ahead, that application will be dropped in February.
Anything else?
End of this month.
I apologize to the city clerk. I found the piece of paper. This is, do you have anything for the future agenda? I just didn't want to leave it on your shoulders. It was the mayor's shoulders. So, okay, the next meeting will be a regular meeting on February 27th. Anything else? No? We're going to adjourn this meeting. Meeting is adjourned. And look at 7.